Well, it's been described as the China-focused version of The Daily Show, an online web series mixing news and humour to cover some of the more controversial issues that the Chinese government probably wishes they didn't. Calling themselves China Uncensored, the three former journalists now boast over 500,000 YouTube subscribers. Many of their videos have been watched millions of times, like this one from 2014 on the government's ambitious proposal of a high-speed train from China to the United States.
Now this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of wacky ambition and complete disregard for the reality of the natural environment that brought us things like the Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest hydropower project that displaced 1.3 million people and is also causing landslides, drought, and earthquakes.
The team are now in Australia looking at the Chinese influence down under, and it's a delight to welcome to the program the host, Chris Chappell. Great to have you with us, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Beverly. It's great to be here.
Now, let's look at this phenomenon that you guys started. What was the motivation?
Well, you know, China is a very important country, and it's having a huge impact around the world. But it's complicated. There's a lot of information, so we wanted to create a show that uses humor to kind of make it more relatable to people. Plus, authoritarian regimes love it when you laugh at them.
So they do, yes, I guess not as much as you'd think, but interestingly enough, of course, we've just seen the end of the China's People's Congress, and Xi Jinping here is calling, for people to really carry on the Chinese dream, to really behave in a way that he described as China characteristics. Now, clearly not everyone feels this way.
That's absolutely true. And, he was the one who coined the term Chinese dream. And, since I've been here in Australia, I've seen a lot of divided opinions amongst the Chinese-Australian community about this issue and about Xi Jinping and the influence the Communist Party is having here in Australia.
And of course, you then give people this opportunity to, I guess, see these issues turned around a little.
Yeah, we like to, look at issues, complicated issues from different angles so people can kind of relate to it a bit more. And, humor really helps shed a light on complicated topics.
Now, you've come to Australia to look at what's become quite a big issue in this country, and that is China trying to buy influence. They're not only doing it here, they're a big trading partner for us, so it's a difficult one for us as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, what have you discovered? What is your take on this?
Well, according to the Chinese Communist Party is doing everything above board, and there's nothing to worry about. But it is seriously a big issue, and a lot of the work done by Australian journalists and academics has been really great. It's been great to be here and kind of talk to these politicians, to talk to these people about this issue, and it's what I've been amazed at is the divide that has been created on this issue. It's a very sensitive issue for people, and it's really brought out a lot of people's tempers.
It's interesting because, of course, on one hand, one has to acknowledge the extraordinary job that China has done, really, to bring so many millions of people out of poverty. It's dramatically transformed the nation. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, do you get the sense it's trying to use its power too much now?
Well, the Chinese Communist Party has never really changed over the years. I mean, it likes to claim that it lifted people out of poverty, but the fact of the matter is the Communist Party was the one who put people into poverty in the first place. And it was only by backing off just a little bit that that many people were able to sort of get out of poverty. It's still an authoritarian state that controls all aspects of society, including the economy and business. And that's how it deals with countries around the world as well. They're always looking after the Communist Party's own agenda.
What do you make of the Chinese diaspora, of course, who are now, there are so many Chinese moving abroad, living interstate, and there is kind of a nationalistic fervour that they bring with them, mm-hmm. I guess too heavily monitored by the Chinese government. It makes it hard for them to, I guess, properly put down roots.
Well, I've spoken to several prominent members in the Chinese-Australian community since I've been out here, and they speak a lot about how often they're the first ones being infiltrated and silenced by the Communist Party. But also a lot of other members of the Chinese-Australian community feel, a strong sense of connection to their home country and to Chinese culture and history. So there is concern about where this is all going.
And what advice would you give Australians, I guess, in terms of managing this issue? Because there is a growing sensitivity from China about criticism.
Well, the Chinese Communist Party likes to say it represents all Chinese people around the world. And if you criticize the Chinese Communist Party, you're criticizing all Chinese people, which is ridiculous. And so that's why on the show, we always try to really clearly distinguish between the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese people. It helps avoid racist undertones and also kind of blows a big hole in the Communist Party's propaganda.
You're, of course, satirical and you're taking shots at the Chinese government. Do you have the backing of some of China's critics?
No, I wish. I've been told, like, we're funded by the CIA. You know, I could use that money. China Uncensored is completely supported by viewers, and it's a pretty tight operation, but, you know, we really love what we do.
And what is your take on the term for life that Xi Jinping has just secured for himself?
Oh, I was very happy about it because I predicted it 2 years ago. I actually coined the term, you know, he's going to be not quite a president, not quite a dictator, more of a presentator. That's what we call him, Presentator Xi Jinping.
Lovely to have you with us and look forward to continuing to view your work over the journey. Thanks for your time.
Been my pleasure.